So yeah, this is an Airbnb. I just buy days uh, until my apartment situation. But the last day I can live in here is the 20th. I'm bought all the way to. I miss you too, man. I'm bought all the way to the 18th. I can buy all the way to the 20th. It's about $40 a night. It's pretty chill though. It's pretty chill. I've been getting stuff done, looking at different places. One place I might go to cost me about $925 a month, and it is small. It's a small 1 bedroom. It's like a little motel type of situation. It does have an extra room that they're building on it, and it's just out. It's away from the city. It's about 15 minutes away from the city. It's not ideal for me. However, everything comes down to numbers. And when I look at how much I'm going to pay, you're in Cleveland, price of living definitely going up. Yeah, so I knew that it was going to be tough if I lost my apartment. But here's the thing. When you get a case against you, the apartment they just start out processing you. And then all of a sudden they just hit you with a 3-day notice and tell you to bounce. Or you're going to get evicted. Everybody knows if you have an eviction notice within the last 15 years, nobody wants you. So my lawyer said you could fight it, but I think you should get out of there. You have somewhere to go. I did not have anywhere to go. I slept in my car. One lady said, hey, you can come over and sleep in my basement. I went over there. Her daughter also sleeps in her basement. Her daughter's in her 20s. So she had a little room over here. They had a space over here. I helped her clean out that whole space, get that all together. I threw down a mattress. That was it, a blow-up mattress. I ain't bring anything else in there. And, I was just going to operate out of there. And then she hit me the next day and said I had to go. So I didn't even, what am I going to do? So eventually, the next night I spent in my car. I had booked an extended stay. It was for $1,400 for a month. Which is not terrible, but when I looked at the fact that, I pay $300 for storage, plus my insurance and so on and so forth, I said, this is not doable because it brings me almost up to $2,000. I don't want to play that game. I have my own little business, but it's, you know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm not even going to try that. I could have got him there for 1 month and just tried to figure it all out. But I said, nah. And, somebody was like, get an Airbnb. And Anna was a YouTuber. I know we've been calling each other. She's been helping me. So Natalie, big thanks. And so I grabbed an Airbnb, actually she found this one. And boom, I've been here rocking it out. And I had made a bunch of phone calls before I actually left my apartment and got some, things in order. And one of those places that I called, I'm probably going to live, like I said, I'm going to live there, but it's a small place. For $925, I'm saying I had a basement, living room, 2-bedroom. For $900, for actually less than that, for $850. Now $925, and I got one small room, a living room, and then another room that's not even You know what I'm saying? It's not even finished. It's not even insulated or nothing like that. But the deal they made with me, they were like, listen, if you get this room, for one, you don't have to pay light, gas, water, or internet. Nothing. You just pay rent here. Also, this extra room, which is something like 15 by 12, they said, we're going to go ahead and insulate it and we're going to run a 220 out to this room if you want it. The reason why they're running a 220 is because I'm an appliance guy, and it's my hustle. So they said, and even more so, what we're going to do is we're going to, if you want to work, because everybody needs appliance guys. I said, if you want to fix some appliances, you probably doing some rent-free exchanges because we need things fixed. This guy owns a lot of property. So, when it comes to appliances, I don't just fix them, I haul them away. I mean, I do the whole nine with appliances, you know what I'm saying? I fix, resell, blah, blah, blah. So it's all about storage for me. I need to stop paying $300 for storage. And, so I was like, I could use this room for some storage. I have to downsize a lot. So I can fit into a 1-bedroom apartment. But I've already done a lot of that when I left my other apartment because I left, in 3 days. I had to be out. So I was doing all kind of stuff to get out of there. But even so, so I'm looking at that place. I got one more place I'm gonna look at Monday. It's a 2-bedroom for like 700 and something. I'm just gonna look at it. Some places I've looked at, there's no way I'm gonna live there. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Like, you guys are trying to put me in the hood, where I know it's gonna go down. This place that I'm considering with the extended room that's not finished, I do like the fact that I'm not paying water, gas, electric, internet. I like that. Just $925. I cover that easy. Like I said, it's all about the numbers for me. It is away from the city. It's about 15 minutes away. And I mean, it's a very lonely situation, let me tell you something. But I think I can save money if I do it. Plus, they also have a laundry room. And in that laundry, they opened up the back of the laundry room. He said, listen, if you need to bring your washing machines in here, and then he opened it up and, there's all the laundry rooms, access to, all the water and stuff. He said, listen, I'll even cut a water access in one of these pipes so I can get you hot and, cold water, which I really don't need. I just need cold water. Because when your valves work, when they both work, it doesn't matter what's coming out of them, whether it's hot and cold. So I really just need one. Then I add a splitter to it. Once I add a splitter, I just put it in hot and cold. And I just need to know that the valves work. I don't really need, the hot water. So these guys are working with me because they know what I do. I also looked at another spot that's it's not far from here actually, and the guy wanted me to rent a room, a big room. He wanted me to rent the room for $625, and then he said, listen, I have a garage that nobody uses. It's, the ground's a little messed up, but nonetheless, $75, you can go ahead and use this for storage. Problem with the garage is it's not too secure. The door is almost falling off of it. And I really can't see putting all my appliances in there. I think somebody can just kick it in and take everything that I have. So that's not going to work for me. But, the $625, I was like, $625 for a room. So that's what we're up against, people. We're looking at stuff like that. Just for a room, $625. Just to be in a room. And there's, other rooms in the spot, they're all filled by men. A lot of guys working and stuff, but what turned me off to this dude is he said, yeah, we just had a bunch of guys in here that were stealing from each other. When he said that, I was just like, no, I'm not coming in here, because I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I have to fight people. So it's gonna be, the place that's 15 minutes away so far. I was looking for a two-bedroom, but it's hard to find one for $900. They're going for 1050 now, 1200 bucks. I mean, places that used to be very affordable are just not affordable anymore. Uh, I was trying to find a roommate, because I'm like, if I go six, 700 with a roommate, we can get a townhouse and, well, it'll be all good. But finding a roommate is hard too, because even if you go on roommates.com, everybody is looking for six, $700. So their pricing, look, their rent is probably maybe 1200 bucks. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm probably under that. But they're like asking for an amount that's not even half. You know what I'm saying? So if it's 1200 bucks, they're not asking you to go half with them. They're trying to make money, and it's cool, but you kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're asking $800, so you're trying to make $200. You know what I'm saying? Not unless you're gonna put that towards, you know what I'm saying, the bills, the light, gas, the so I'm like, if you're doing that, that's fine. But if you're trying to make money on it, I mean, that's still fine. It's your spot, but it's harder to get people to phantom $800, for a room, and the whole spot is not theirs. There's also another spot I was looking at, and it's on campus. It's up like three flights of stairs. It's not terrible. It's a two-bedroom. They wanted 850 for it. It's not terrible. It's on campus. I mean, I could walk down to the college, which is pretty cool, which is OSU. Uh, I really don't got no complaints about it. It's a very, very small. It's a small kitchen, but like I said, I could set up there and be okay. Like I said, it's 850. Uh, but when you look at, I mean, I could take all my storage, almost all of it. I'm still gonna have a storage bill. Now I didn't mind having one storage bill of like 130, but now I got another storage bill of 170. So my whole thing is emptying everything out of the 130 and putting it in the 170. So I'm just paying 170. So like I said, it's all a numbers game, but this is what's going on in my life right now. It's a little rough around the edges, but like I said, I might take that little spot, that 925. It's not a lot of space, but like I said, I still have that storage, room. And what's best about it is I think those guys are going to toss me a lot of work. So, you know what I mean? That's really what I'm interested in, And what I figured is I can go down there, live in that spot for a year and save my money and, get my skills better. And then once my calls are coming in, like every day I have a call. And after a year's over, I can move into another spot that's back in the city, pay 900 or a grand a month, like it's nothing, and just keep rocking. But yeah, I had a real rough start. Nobody helped me move. Uh, Sleeping in my car is actually, well, I have two trucks. So what I actually thought about doing is saying, forget it. I'm not gonna even get an apartment. I'm just gonna sleep in my trucks. So I was gonna convert either my Tahoe. Uh, so what I was thinking about doing is taking the Tahoe and sleeping in the back of that, and taking all my work stuff and putting in the back of my Avalanche. I really don't want to turn my Avalanche into a work truck. I don't want it to get all scratched and dinged up. It's a nice truck. Uh, but it would be hard to fit all my work stuff in my Tahoe and sleep in it. Plus, it's getting cold, so I would need to have I need to have a whole heater set up and all that. And, you know, the window on the passenger side is not working right. And now I'm trying to fix the brakes. Just put brake pads on it. I spent all day doing that yesterday. Got one side done, went to the other side. The doggone caliper wouldn't come off. So damn brakes are down. They're almost chewing into the rotor. So I need to figure out how to get these damn caliper pins out. And it's almost like they're stripped. Like you get them almost all the way out and they don't want to come the rest of the way out. It's just, things I'm having issues with. I spent about, $250 yesterday, buying a, 3-ton jack. Plus I had to buy all the stuff to, actually do that work because most of the tools I have are for appliances. So now when you're talking about cars, you need bigger tools to do that. And so basically I set up outside of the AutoZone and just kept going in there and buying stuff like a breaker bar and 20 millimeter sockets, 18 millimeter sockets and stuff like that. So I had to spend some decent money doing that. But the thing about me is I'm not a big spender because I know situations like this come along. So am I doing okay? Yeah. I mean, mentally, I'm still processing the whole thing of being displaced. I lived in that place for, since 2012. But before this all happened, I pretty much knew it was coming down to the wire because the dude was just crazy. He just wouldn't leave me alone. He got off on just making me angry. And I just didn't understand it at all. In our last confrontation, we were almost face to face and he stuck his hand out and I hit his hand, and that's when they said, oh, he hit me in the face. So, the police came that day, picked me up, put me in jail. I was in jail for a night. Once I got out, I really should have started the out process and I should have started looking for an apartment a lot more aggressively. I was looking, but casually, because I thought it was going to blow over. Nonetheless, when we did go to court, they did show up last week. My lawyer, the whole time when we were waiting to go to court, he says, I really don't have much to tell you because they don't have anything. Because the guy said I hit him in the face. And when I got arrested, I told the police, I said, man, I ain't hit this dude in the face, And but they arrested me anyway. And I said, listen, man, I'm almost 280. If I hit this guy in the face, there'd be a mark. And I said, you see a mark on him? And they said, no. I said, you see a mark on my hands? And they said, no. But both of them, him and his woman, said you did it. So, probable cause. I was like, what? You guys are going to arrest me on what these two knuckleheads said? And they were like, yeah, they said you did it. There was a witness. I was like, these two are the only people who said it. Now, what something else is, my other neighbor had saw the whole thing, but the police asked her and she said, I didn't see anything. And, I was like, okay. But eventually I went around and started asking people to write me character letters. And only one of my neighbors did. But when I went and asked her, she said, I saw the whole thing. I just didn't, when the police asked me, I just didn't want to get involved. And I said, it is what it is. She said, but I'll say on record, I saw exactly what happened. So once we got to court, I pretty much sat in the hallway with, I didn't go inside the courtroom too much. They were in there talking to the prosecutor, Black female. And eventually, my lawyer and his supervisor showed up. And they were all in there chatting it up and doing whatever they were doing. And then those two idiots came out and, he was like, so we could leave now? And the prosecutor said, yeah. She's like, oh, he's like, we can, like, it's over, like we can go home. And she said, yeah. And then he came out and he started cursing like out loud. He was talking to me, but I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at them, and, and he was upset because it got dismissed pretty much. So he was like, he messed up my car. He's saying all this out loud. Everybody can hear him. And he's like, forget that. I'm going to get my revenge right now. And he's, standing there. So I started recording him just standing there staring at me because, I mean, if he had approached me, he knew. But, he just started saying all type of things. So I started texting my lawyer. My lawyer came out. Me and him walked down the hall. Dude followed us. He followed us down the hall. So my lawyer's keeping an eye on him while we're talking. And then he said, listen, don't do anything. And I said, I'm going to go into the courtroom. Like, if this idiot follows me into the courtroom, then he's really crazy. But then he left because, he was saying that he said it's not over. And I want to find out where he stays. So what I think is going to happen is this knucklehead is going to, he's going to say or do something that's going to get the police's attention, and they're going to come looking for me. And when they do, it's going to create a police report. He's going to go look at a police report. He's going to find my permanent address, and then it's going to be a thing. This is also the reason why I'm moving out of the city, because where the place I'm at is kind of remote, you know what I mean? And if you come down there, I mean, there's a gas station right there. There's cameras. I mean, if you're seen down there, there's no reason for you to be there. So, I mean, if he's seen down there by anyone on camera or anything, it's going to be pretty obvious that this guy is there to, cause trouble. And, so I have to go back to court next Tuesday, and they're pretty much going to issue a stay away for me to stay away from that area for a year. It's not an admission of guilt. It's just saying, stay away from this area, stay away from him. So I've been banned from the whole apartment complex. And the thing about that apartment complex is I was making money while I was there, because when they threw stuff out, I would go get that's how I started my appliance business. I would get the appliances and resell them, or take them to the junkyard. The junkyard is a very, very good business. So with that in mind, I said, and my lawyer said, would that be okay? I said, listen, I'm disappointed because it's a good place to hunt. But I said, hey, man, whatever. I don't care. Just, have him stay away from me, because now you see that this dude is crazy. And, this is the guy who needs to go to jail for a while, not me. So that's what's going to happen Tuesday. We got to go before the judge. And, well, I think I have to go before the judge, but I'm not even sure if I have to say anything, because I asked my lawyer. I said, do I have to go before the judge? He said, you probably won't have to say anything. He's probably just going to, read the case and then say what they agreed to and go ahead and stay away from this person. Another thing is, when you have a misdemeanor, apartment complexes don't want to take you. They don't want you with a misdemeanor. So I'm telling you guys all this information just in case you get in a situation like I am. Listen, if you have a residence that you're cool with, stay there. Because when you get out here, it is different. It is very, very, very different. It's not, you're just going to casually go into another spot. You need to make 3 times the rent. So for you guys who are working, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But you need to make 3 times the rent. This is what they're looking for. If you have, even misdemeanors can stop you from getting into a spot, especially if the misdemeanor is recent. And my misdemeanor is fresh. I mean, in my case, not even over yet. So when you find a landlord that's going to take you, you got to understand these might not be the ideal places you want to live at. And that's exactly what happened to me. These landlords who are, saying, "Hey, we'll take you." These places are not. This is not where I want to be. Uh, but it's that's the life. I'm just gonna say that's the life of when people get in trouble. This is what happens to you. This is the process of falling down. That's basically it. You fall down, this stuff happens to you. So I'm just making you guys aware because I know a lot of you guys want to punch somebody in the face. If you catch a case, you're gonna lose your apartment. That's that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna lose your apartment. And when you lose your apartment, all these landlords do the same thing. They look you up and they find out if you're a problem or not. Another thing is the apartment that you live in. I don't know how long you guys have lived where you live and what your relationship is, but if you been there for a while, you're comfortable, you got your own system going on, everything is fine. You got to understand the apartment complex doesn't care about you. The landlord doesn't care about you. You're not special. Because you live there doesn't make them know, never mind. I don't care if they're nice to you every day. The second that you get the police involved, you're a problem to them. I'm just letting you know what it is. And the court system is not in your favor. If you're accused of something, let me put it to you like this. They accused me of assault. I didn't do it, right? I got arrested anyway. I spent the night in jail. That's for one. So when my probation officer was established, he said the judge ordered an assessment. They ordered a drug and mental assessment. And this is in question. I don't think the judge did this. But nonetheless, because my lawyer is like, if the judge would have done this, I would have known about it. And he's like, I know nothing about this. But my probation officer, was pushing this whole thing. So what happened was long story short, they told me to go to a particular place to get this assessment done. I get one part of it done, but I'm thinking that both of them are done because of what had transpired. Now, when it comes to drugs, and I don't do drugs, I don't drink, smoke, I don't do nothing. So that was a complete waste. I had to pay $20 to do this, and I put it on my Humana, right? So I had to take 2 visits, so that's $40, yada yada yada. Then turn around and my Humana said, we're not covering it. So that's $250 that I have to pay. Not only that, once I turned in my assessments, they said it's only the drug. You have to go get a mental assessment. Now, my court date's coming up in a few days, and I need to have this mental assessment so-called for the judge, right? So I'm scrambling and I'm calling around to health clinics to find out where I can get an assessment. And it started blowing my mind because when you call these health clinics, they say you can get a free assessment. And I said, well, this is a court order assessment. And they say, wait a minute, we don't do court ordered assessments. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? They say the assessment you're looking for is an analysis of a behavior analysis. The assessments that we do is a care of health care or care of something. I forgot exactly what they call it, but it's 2 different health assessments. It's 2 different assessments. And I was just like, so now I'm calling around to each healthcare place, mental health, and it's a mental health place because you can walk in and get one. So I found one. I drove across the city to get this one at like 6 o'clock at night. I get there. they sign me in, and mind you, this is a mental health, so it's like a jail for mental people. So I get in there, and the guy comes out and says, "We don't do this type of assessment." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness." I talked to you guys on the phone. You said you did this. There's like, "No, we don't do a court." So I said, "All right." He said, "Wait a minute. Let me see what I can do." So basically, what he did was he went in, he got the RN to call a mental health professional, and we did the whole thing by Zoom. So once that was done, she gave her assessment and said she recommends that not anger management, but it was something. It was like the lowest form of recommendation for me. So I said, okay, whatever. The next day, I had to call and get that released to my PO. So I'm doing all this running around for something I don't even think the judge told me to do, and it's cost me like $300. This is what I'm telling you. This is how the court system is, and nobody gives a damn. Oh, but nobody gives a damn. So I'm doing all this run around, and I don't really think the judge ordered this. I really don't, because my lawyer he's like, I don't know anything about this assessment. And I don't want to, go to the PO like, did the judge really order this? Because this guy he's really something. Plus, every time I go to court, he says, "Hey, you need to come see me after you come from court." And every time he does it, my lawyer goes, "What's he want to see you for? I don't understand why he's doing this." So it's just the PO just doing extra stuff and costing you money for absolutely nothing. He absolutely nothing. This is a misdemeanor 3 or whatever, and with no jail time and a simple assault. And this guy is acting like you're a flight risk. He's it's just a bunch of stuff that they do on their own and make you do it. And if you don't do it, they arrest you and all this other stuff. It's as I'm telling you guys, this is the stuff you have to deal with. And then your hair looks like this. You're gonna deal with a lot of sleepless nights. So I'm telling you guys, I know you guys are prideful just like me. And when somebody scratches up your car and cuts your brakes, you want to bust them in the face. You want to get in their face. Just move. If moving is a headache, especially when you're by yourself. Nobody's going to help you. There are a lot of, here's another thing I found out, that when these people like rent out these rooms, for $500-$600 for a room, a lot of these houses aren't finished. They're going to be, in the hood, and they're all filled with men. All of them. They're all filled with men. So be prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you'd rather it be filled with men than women, but I mean, if you got a girlfriend or something, you don't bring her up there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's filled with men, and they don't leave these places. These guys rent these places out, and they stay there for years. And they're just a bunch of guys like me. Just, you're displaced. You work, you have a simple job, you go to work, you come home, and you eat your TV dinners, and you stay in your room. It is a very, very solitary life. Trust me. So be prepared for some of that action. Listen, you ladies too, be prepared for some of that action. It's not cute out here. It's not cute at all. So, like I said, don't touch my truck, but the minute you react, somebody's going to make a claim against you. And the police are going to arrest you if 2 people said that you did it. The police aren't going to say, let me see the camera. Hell, they didn't even want me to, prove that I didn't do it. They just wanted to arrest me. I was like, I can prove that I didn't do it. They really didn't care. They did not care. They wanted to arrest me, and that's it, and that's all. We're going to arrest you because it's going to make us look good. And this is what the judicial system is. The judicial system is not a entity on its own. It's a collective of entities, and they all have their own agenda. The cops have their own agenda. The lawyers have their own agenda. I'm telling you, the probation officers need to show, they need to whip it out and see and let you know who's, got the biggest. It is just a mess. And then, that extends to these mental health places that lie to you to your face. You're just lying. I'm like, do you do mental assessments? No, we don't do a mental assessment. We do drug assessments. And I'm not sure. Do we do mental assessments? Yeah, I think we do. They don't even know. You go in there, you talk to a certified mental whatever. She's like, I'm just gonna do your assessment right now. Blah, 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 blah. 2 weeks later, it's almost time for you to go to court. There's no mental assessment done. Now you're on the fly trying to figure out who does this stuff. And then you find out it's two different assessments. I mean, it's just a whirlwind. And you're living in an Airbnb. You know what I mean? And these people are very cool. But I can only be here up until next Friday. Then I got to find a different Airbnb. That's another thing. You're going to find discrimination on Airbnb. You are. And let me tell you, to rent a room starts at $40 a night. So there's that. And you also, when you're renting an Airbnb, they want you for your initial stay. Look, people are like, if you're not staying for 2 weeks, you can't even stay here. So be prepared for that, because now you're looking at, at least $500. I'm just trying to tell you, save up if you're angry, save your pennies, because that money's going to go out the window. You know what I mean? So you're looking at least $500 there, just for a couple weeks. I mean, it's real quick. You know what I'm saying? And then there's only a limited time you're going to be able to stay. And next thing you know, you got to up and go to wherever you're going to go again. And of course, you're either going to find a room, a roommate, or an apartment to get into. And if your case is fresh, the apartment situation is going to be rough for you. Another thing you need to know is I haven't looked for an apartment in, since 2012. Things have changed. When I got into that last apartment, it was almost, it was $450 or whatever. That apartment, they wanted to kick me out. And listen, those people in that complex had no love for me, but I've been paying those people for over 10 years. They wanted me out of there because they're going to come in, they're going to redo that apartment, and they're going to raise the rent up to like $1,200. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. I started to take the damn I wanted to take the stove and the fridge because I'm like, you guys are just going to get rid of it. But I didn't. I left everything there. I swept the place up. I patched the holes. I left my frame to my bed because I couldn't get it out. I couldn't collapse it. But I cleaned the place up. I didn't clean the fridge out. So I don't know how much deposit I'm looking at getting back. I could call and try to find out. But so that's another thing, you guys. If you leave an apartment, clean it up, clean the fridge out, mop it if you have to, because you want your deposit money as much as possible. I had put a hole in the wall on the way out, and big ass hole in the side of the wall, about that big. And like I said, I was talking to some people, or I was talking to Natalie actually, and she was like, yeah, you can go to Walmart and get some stuff that goes on pink and it dries white, and it takes all night to do that. So thanks, Natalie, again for that, because I went to Walmart, I got that stuff, bam, spackled it on. When it dries, you sandpaper it off. I put that stuff on, patch that hole right up. And what I didn't know was there were other holes along these walls that just through the years, so I patched all those holes up. And yeah, if you're gonna leave your apartment, do the best you can. Do the best you can because you want that money back and they don't want to give you that money back. Also, if you're looking for an apartment out here, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you're looking for a half decent apartment, right? This is what they do now. They go, first, in order for you to apply, you have to pay $50. The least amount I saw was $35. And they do that for your background check. Now, the nicer the apartment, the more stuff you're going to run into. What they also do is they go, and it's different apartments and landlords do different stuff. So one apartment complex said, yeah, it's $50 for you to apply. Then it's a $250 non-refundable administration fee. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, does that go to my first month's rent? And they said, no, it's non-refundable. And I'm like, what? Then they said, then we want the first month's and then rent. So if you're looking at a place that, it's doing $1,000 a month, you're looking at $2,000. Now you're looking at $250. You're looking at $1,300. $300 you'll never see again. And that's not including all the other processes that you have to go through to get in here. One said there was a $400 administrative fee that you will not get back, and that doesn't apply to your first month's rent. The other said it's a $400 administration fee, but it goes towards your first month's rent. And I was like, I can kind of see that. I was like, I can deal with that. If it goes towards a first month's rent, okay, fine. You want $950, bang, I gotta pay you $450, or $550 to, first month, and then, or deposit, excuse me, and then first month. I was like, okay, I can see that. But the whole non-refundable, so there was another guy, I know landlords because I work with them. There's another guy I got in contact with, and I was like, you got anything? He's like, yeah. So he takes me up into the hood, and I look at this place. It's a 1-bedroom. It's clean. He cleaned it out. I was just like, okay, it's clean. It's got a little extra storage, on the side that's outside, so I can't lock it up. And I was thinking, of course, how much do you want for it? $850, right? This dude goes, in order for you to even apply, you have to have a credit card. So for those of you who don't have credit cards and use debit cards or cash like I do, you now have to go get a credit card. I went to the bank and said, hey, how can I get a credit card? It takes a week to get a credit card, and they can't send it to the bank. So if you don't have an address, you need to have a P.O. box. I mean, it got ridiculous. It's like, wait, what? So there's that. So he said, people try with debit cards, you have to have a credit card. He also said, so it's $850 here. And he said, the first month is which is the deposit. And then the first month, he said the deposit is non-refundable. I was like, wait, what? So this means when you move out, you don't get that money back. That's what the deposit is for. It's to secure the spot, and then you pay the first month's rent. And then when you leave, they use the deposit against any damage that you've done to the spot, right? But if you leave the spot nice, you clean it out, clean the fridge out, no holes in the wall, blah, they owe you that money back. No, that's not what he's doing. He's going, we keep that money. I'm like, you out of your mind. You out of your mind. You can't, come on, bro. We're not doing that. So I'm just telling you, different landlords do different things. Processing. Some landlords take a week, or some, apartment complex managers, they take a week. Some of them take 24 hours, but each application costs money, each one. So pick your poison, you know what I mean? Because you're going to run into this stuff, and the prices are ridiculous, and the spaces are getting smaller. So there's that, you know. So like I said, right now, my choice is to move into a room for $625, no questions asked. They just want to know, you know, are you working? You know, blah blah blah. But you know, it's with a house full of dudes. Everybody has their own room. Your door does lock. That's pretty cool. You don't pay any utilities whatsoever. So it's just a room. 625. Or move into a 2-bedroom on campus or near campus. Not that bad. Have to go up about 3 flights of steps. one step on the outside, the other step on the side on the outside. And when you get in, you have another step. You know, small kitchen. You can't fit a big refrigerator in there, so there's little rinky-dink refrigerators in there. 2-bedroom. You know, so I still have my entertainment room and my bedroom. Good sized bedrooms. $850. Turnaround for that, processing is 3 days, $35 to apply, no administration fee. So if I took that prorated for the end of the month, and then, you know, first month on that, so $850, not bad. Good parking space out back. People that live there, bunch of dudes that go to work every day. So not terrible. In town, near campus, a lot going on there. You can walk somewhere and get something to eat. Just, you know, pretty chill. Or live outside of the city in a place that's apartment complex. But, you know, you're not going to walk and get to a restaurant. There's nothing there except an industrial place where people's working next door. You got a gas station that's, you know, right there. But, you know what I'm saying? There's that going on. And it's very small bedroom, small living room. Yeah. But all utilities are paid. And, you know, I can tighten up on my skills. So those are my choices, and I have to make them soon because, like I said, I can't stay here much longer. And the more Airbnb I do, the less money I have for my deposits, which if I wait till the beginning of the month, you know, it's just going to get higher. But I also get paid at the beginning of the month. So those are just some of the things I'm running into. That's why I encourage you guys. Stay where you're at. If you're dealing with somebody who's an asshole like I am, and this guy still got it in for me. I don't think this guy's going to be happy until, you know, we get into a physical confrontation and he finally realizes he can't whoop me. But if that happens, I mean, it's clear what he's going to do. He draws you into these confrontations, then calls the police, and then you get punished and go through all this. It's just not worth it. So, like I said, if you guys get into a situation like I did, just leave. Some of you guys got girlfriends, wives, kids. I'm telling you to get away from people like this because the headache that it's going to cause you, the amount of money that you're going to lose, it's just not worth it. It's not. It's not worth it. If you can, keep your record clean. Do not get an eviction. Listen, people were even asking me about the 3-day notice. everybody wanted to know, why are you leaving so quickly? And I got rejected because of that. People, listen, I'm telling you, these apartment complexes, they will reject you simply because of the way you left. They will. If you say something to the order of, oh, I left because I had a neighbor that I didn't like, and I just decided, I left. I was on month to month, blah, 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 but, I didn't like that. You know what they hear? They hear you're probably part of the problem. That's what they hear. They hear any problem. If you don't go, well, I just wanted a new experience, they go, okay, cool. Nothing wrong with that. But as soon as you mention that there was a problem, that's it. I told one lady, I said, I just got a 3-day notice to get out. She said, why? Because you didn't pay your rent? And I was like, no, I pay my rent on the 1st, faithfully. I said, it's because I had an issue with, somebody else, you know what I'm saying? And she was cool, but nonetheless, she just assumed that I didn't pay my rent on the 1st. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's different out here. It's not easy to get a spot, and especially the spot that you want. And a lot of these places are looking to kick you out. If you've been there for a long time, I'm letting you know now, they want you to leave. And when you do, if they can find any excuse for you to leave, they don't care about nothing. They don't care if you're a veteran. They don't care if you're disabled. They do not care. They want you to leave so they can raise the rent, because that's business. And if you're hurting that business in any shape, form, or fashion, you're going to get a 3-day notice. Now, my lawyers were telling me that I could fight the eviction notice. The problem with that is, once they found that eviction notice and you lose in court, because they said the reason why you're getting evicted because there was a police report against you and you went to jail for assault. So you can't have anything like that while you're living here. And I was like, I've never seen that in the contract. I'm like, yeah, that's in the contract. Now, I never seen it, and I don't think it's there. But my lawyers were like, go ahead and, they were like, go ahead and question that, because I don't think that's true. But here's the problem. They were like, here, you want our lawyers? This is the name of our lawyer firm. So my lawyer and their lawyer firms were going ahead and, hashing it out. And then my lawyer said, listen, I would leave if I were you. So I said, okay, I was already in the process of doing it. Boom. I just really put my foot on the gas and was freaking out of it. Another thing, if you get a 3-day notice, do not wait, especially if you're moving by yourself. Don't wait. Don't think it's 3 days. You can do this. I'm telling you now, you don't realize how much stuff that you have. And then the cleanup process. Do not wait. Start throwing stuff away. Get yourself in gear quickly. Don't sit around and jaw jack. You got 3 days to turn in your key. And when they open business on that 4th day, your key has to be in the box, or you're going to get hit with an eviction notice that's going to affect you for 15 years. Don't wait. Don't sit around and tell your friends your sad story. If they're not helping you move, don't explain anything to them. Don't. Do not do it. Just, yeah, man, I gotta go. You're probably gonna have some casual conversation, but I'm telling you now, 3 days is not a lot of time, especially if you're doing it on your own. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be completely exhausted. And wherever you lay your head next, try to get a good night's sleep. And if I were you, knowing what I know now, if you don't have a place to go to, get an Airbnb, download the app, and fill it all out and get that together. As soon as you get your notice, just Airbnb. Start looking up what's in your area and what you can afford. Also, don't waste money. Don't waste it. Do not waste money because it is cold outside and you'll be out there in your vehicle. You'll be on your ass. I'm telling you, people want their money. And if you're not talking money, nobody cares. Here's another thing I found out. Because I was told to call the homeless shelter. The wait to get into the homeless shelter is 100 people literally in front of you. Listen, this is not an easy transition. There's 100 people who are calling that hotline because the rent has gone up and people can't afford it. Like a guy I knew, I just kind of knew him, just saw him all the time. That guy froze to death 2 years ago. Right here in this city, he froze to death, and it happens every year. When that temperature hits freezing, people start dying. And now that rent is just going through the roof, you have more people who are homeless, more people who are in this situation. That's what I'm trying. Listen, let me be a warning to you guys who are listening. If you got a spot, do what you can to stay in it. If you have to leave, go ahead and leave that spot, but do it with smarts. Don't think that there's love out here in these streets. Don't for a minute think that, oh, I'm just going to do this and this is going to work out for me because I am who I am and everybody is going to help me. You're lying to yourself. And when you get out here, people are going to ignore you. People are going to lie to you. People are going to just try to take your money. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try to put you in places where they know there's going to be a situation. One place I went to look at, I was going to get it too, until I went and did a drive-by because I wanted to scout the area out. It's in one of the worst parts of town there is. And when I went there, there was just trash just lined up down the street. Beds and couches of people who got evicted and just down the damn street. Now you just ride down the street. This it's like, what? And I went into, the little part where, they wanted me to, I was looking at living and I said, do y'all got roaches? I stopped this lady. I said, hey, y'all got roaches? She said, yes. She said, it's not that bad though. Now I've dealt with roaches. In my last apartment complex, I killed them. It was what it was. But nonetheless, I don't look forward to dealing with them. So I'm just telling you guys, and then the lady who was the manager who was trying to put me in that place start talking about how bad it was down there. I'm just like, this is the place you recommend. But you're telling me how bad it is? So I'm just telling you guys, listen, there's no love out here. It's all about the bottom line. People just want your money. They don't care about you. They don't care about your story. They look at you and they make up their mind. I don't care if you're a cute female. Nobody loves you. What I mean by that is the landlords. I'm not saying your family doesn't love you. I'm saying the landlord. I'm saying the whole housing system. Because females, think because I look a certain way, ladies don't do that. Don't think that someone's going to side with you in this business because of the way you look, No. Now, I have gotten a little bit of uh, when I've talked to each of these landlords and these, they know what I do. They know I'm an appliance guy. So because I am an appliance guy, they're like, I'm gonna keep your number, regardless of what happens, because you're gonna be useful, which I am. You know what I mean? So let me say this. I don't know what you guys do for a living. I don't care that your business. But what I will say is if you can, I'm not telling you to go into appliances. I'm saying that that's just something that I like to do. You know what I mean? Uh, so what I will say is it's an advantage because I like dealing with appliances. That is an advantage, especially in conversation with these people. They don't look at me as, just a complete, just you're just a body. Now they look at me as an asset. And the one landlord think I'm gonna deal with, he is doing that. He's like, we have plenty of work. And the one guy who used to do their appliances, he just got old. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm finished. And the thing about even when you get old in, any profession, you're still able to say, hey, do this, that, and the third, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So they still refer back to this old man when they have particular problems. And mind you, they have their own little laundry mat. So they have gas dryers and they have electric washers, and they're the big industrial ones. So when I looked at that, I'm going, well, being after all the same is is good for me. So if I have to fix any of these, it's pretty much a system that appliance guys goes through. You guys don't really care to hear that, but nonetheless, you can just go through the numbers and bam, 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 and then start figuring out what's wrong with these things. And being after all the same, boom, eventually, the different problems you'll just be able to know what it is. And so this is what these landlords hear when I tell them what I do. They go, oh, because there's always a washer and dryer that's breaking down. As a matter of fact, that's what the one guy said. He said, we have a lot of issues with washers and dryers, and so I'm just saying, if you can become an asset to, your landlord, it was possible. What's going on, man? If you can become an asset. So when I talk to these people and I tell them what I do, I am an asset. I all of a sudden go from being just a regular guy to an asset, because I can save them a whole lot of money. And I charge $80 an hour. And $80 an hour, let me tell you something, that's not a lot in the appliance business. You know what I'm saying? I just had a situation where some guys recommended me, and these people called me up out of the blue and said, hey, come look at my stove. And, once I go out there, I only charged them $75 an hour. But when I went out there, because they had already agreed to the price, I looked at their stove and we just, went through this whole thing and what I think was possible and why they wasn't getting any gas, yada, yada, yada. Turned out it was the gas line itself, but they had to have a plumber come in and cut the pipe to the gas line. And I told them, I said, listen, you're going to have somebody come in, because we were in the basement. And I said, they're going to have to cut this pipe that goes up into your stove. I said, this is a health hazard. Your stove is supposed to be able to pull out so you can hit the off switch for your gas. I said, you cannot do that because your pipe is sticking in the stove. They sat the stove on top of the pipe, so when you move the stove out, it runs into the pipe. This pipe should not be there. So what you're going to have to do is cut the pipe so it comes down below, and then you can take the hose and run it into the basement, and then that's where you can connect. This way you can pull the stove out and hit the off switch, and just in case things go bad. That's what it's for. It's called an emergency off switch. Basically, it gives you 3 ways to turn off your stove. You can turn off your stove at downstairs in your basement where it's coming from your heater, which is turn off the gas, excuse me. You can also disconnect the gas at the stove where the pipe is. So this is the pipe, this is where you connect. There is a cutoff switch here. You just boom, turn it off. Actually, you turn it, you turn it horizontally. Boom, that's the off switch. And then there's where it's connected, and it is connected to the actual stove. There's a connection here. There's a switch that sits right here. Click, you turn it off. Gas cannot get up into the stove. Just a quick lesson for you guys. But nonetheless, so, that was $75 for me. Like I like making those calls, but I also saved those people a lot of money. So this is what landlords hear when they say, "Oh, you're an appliance." Listen, let me tell you something. Even if you're new at appliances, even if you've never fixed appliances, you just did your own DIY, which is what I was doing. You tell people, I know how to fix this. You become an asset to your landlord. So that's what these landlords hear. I am an asset to the landlords, and this is why I think I'm gonna take the deal out of the city. Even though I do like the campus deal, I like it. I wouldn't mind living there because everything's close. I think if I move out of the city just for a year, get my money together, I'll be getting my money together and I'll be getting my skills together. That's another thing, you guys. It'll be pretty lonely, but it's what it is. But like I said, I'll be getting my skills together. I'm probably going to get my online certification in appliances. And, things like that. So yeah, there's a whole lot when it comes to finding a place to live. I also just thought about living in my trucks. What I was gonna do is, you guys know I have 2 trucks. So I was just gonna put a hitch onto the back of my Avalanche and then roll my Tahoe up in it and just roll out. I was just gonna head down south, and probably land in I don't know, maybe South Carolina somewhere on the outskirts of one of those cities. Just park in the Walmart somewhere, unhook my truck, let it sit there, and basically find a storage unit place and Facebook. That's all I need. Go ahead and camp out in the trucks, with a sleeping bag and stuff like that. Turn the Avalanche into a little bedding. You can flip down the back seats in your Avalanche, and it'll stretch out the whole bed. So you can just pop a bag in there and just sleep in the back. It's not like sleeping in the back seats. It's actually like you can stretch out and lay down and get a good night's sleep. But yeah, so I thought about just doing that and go ahead and just living in my truck, but just go down south where it's not freezing. It might hit at night, maybe. I don't know. What is it? What is the temperature at night during the winter? I mean, you guys did have that ice storm in Texas, which shocked everyone. And also, I mean, it snowed in Atlanta before, so there's that, but it doesn't happen that often. So you guys who live in the South, who live in Texas and live in Atlanta, I used to live in Atlanta, and I remember having to put on a coat, but I don't remember it ever being freezing. I do remember when it snowed back in 96, 97. So basically what I'm saying is it's easier to live in your vehicle in the South than it is, in the Midwest, because we get below zero here. And if you head east, Pennsylvania, Virginia, New York, Yeah, you know, you don't want to play with that. Not unless you got a really, really good sleeping bag and a good heating system, because your car is going to be covered in snow. I mean, your truck's going to be just buried. But it is doable. It is definitely doable. There are some things that you could set up for your vehicle, and just, you'll have heat and everything. And, when you pop out, it'll just be, 3 feet of snow that you step into. So that's a thing. Also, you can pull up in a Walmart. They want you to be there because they know you're going to go in and, you know, buy stuff from them. So people do that a lot as well. And so I thought about doing that, you know, but I think I'm interested in honing my skills, working on different appliances, just being a better appliance guy. That way I don't have to guess at what is going on. I'm starting to become half decent at knowing what's wrong with an appliance, uh, just by what people are telling me. But I have a long way to go because I learn something new every time I deal with an appliance. I have a long way to go, but I have a mind for it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, even though I have a degree in something that has nothing to do with that. I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide out for a year, and I'm just going to really get my skills on. Um, I was also offered jobs to be an appliance tech, and I don't want to do it because they will burn you out. And one landlord I was talking to, he was saying that the appliance techs that, the companies that they were going through, uh, he was talking about these companies, instead of wanting to fix your stuff, they want to sell you new stuff. Now, this is an interesting dynamic because, okay, some of you guys may have an old washing machine, probably an old Whirlpool, a Maytag, old Kenmore. You know, some of you guys may still have them. And if you got a Speed Queen, good stuff. And you may look at it and go, I don't want this anymore because it's old. Well, let me tell you something. That old washing machine, for one, is easier to fix than the new ones. The new Maytags are going to run you $800 for a new Maytag top loader. Easy $800. We're not even talking about the ones that go in the side, the bigger ones. We're not talking about those. But we're talking about the 27-inch top loader with the agitator or without the agitator, that has the new direct drive motors in them and all that other stuff. Listen, as somebody who fixes appliances, if you can get yourself an oldie but goodie, and I'm talking about, you don't need something that has 3 to 10 speed cycles on it. Just spin and it's done. If you can get yourself a basic one, hold on to it, because then you won't be spending, $80 to $250 trying to fix it, or at least just getting diagnosed. You call me, I'm gonna charge you $80 to come in here and tell you something that's you could do on your own. And I have a habit of telling the customers before I get there what their problem probably is, and then I tell them how to fix it. But a lot of customers still want you to come out because this is what you do, and that's totally understandable. uh, but I'm just telling you guys, a lot of stuff that's wrong with your appliances you can fix yourself, and a lot of it is very, very basic. I mean, these people I went out to the other day, all they did was bump the gas line and they thought there was this whole big thing. However, they did find out that their house was, in danger because of the way it was set up. So that was a good thing. So yeah, a lot of the newer stuff you see breaks down a lot. But when an appliance company that fixes appliances says throw away the old, just get a new, instead of wanting to come out and fix it, it's the same thing that's happening with the automobiles. A lot of these automobiles are breaking down faster than 5 years now. And if the alternator goes out, battery goes out, the fuses start going out, the blah, 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 it just gets worse and worse and worse. Now, what are you going to do? You're being charged all this money just to fix these problems and they're escalating. You're going to go and get a new car. That's what they want you to do instead of fixing it. And a lot of those things you can fix on your own. So, I just wanted to say that because everybody has a washer and dryer. And if you got one of those oldie but goodies, white, just the white basic, flip up to throw your clothes in and hit the button. If you got one of them single button, not a bunch of lights, those type of things, keep it. Keep it. If your woman is trying to tell you that she wants the newest, latest, just tell her what I'm telling you now. It's going to cost a whole lot, and to fix it. And a lot of people don't even know how to take care of a washer and dryer. I mean, when I tell you that the customer is shooting themselves in the foot, it is unbelievable what the customers do to these machines and expect them to just keep going. It just doesn't work like that. I mean, I went to a customer's house and her whole side of the wall was filled with lint that comes out of a dryer. And what the dryer did was it shut off and it wouldn't work anymore. And it probably saved their whole house from being burned down. I never seen nothing like that in my life. Never. I mean, it blew a fuse and it was supposed to. And that thing said, there's no way I'm going to work. Because, listen, once that thing is plugged in and you hit start and that heating element fires up and it gets any part of that lint that's backed up, that lint is, understand, this is dry lint. That lint's going to catch on fire and it's going to come out and it's going to climb right up the side of the wall. That fire is just going to, and that's your ass. For one, it's in the basement, so there's no fire detector in the basement. So you have no idea that your house is on fire. None. And there's other clothes and material down there. So all that's going to catch on fire. Next thing you know, you're trying to climb out the window because you can't get out the door. So yeah. Anyways, if you guys got any questions, you can ask me now about this whole process. But I thought I'd go live to let you guys know how I'm doing. I'm still in there. I got options. And I'm loving life right now. I'm loving life. You know what I mean? The old man is still hanging in there. I'm still strong. Gotta fix my brakes. Damn brakes yesterday. But yeah, you guys got any questions or anything for me? Don't come out in these streets if you don't have to. You're in a spot, stay in that spot. Don't come out here. Because if you ain't got $400 for an administrative fee that you'll never see again, don't play these games. Because I'm not going to stay there. I'm just one of those people, man. Whenever I get a job, it's only a short amount of time before I'm not there anymore. And I used to think that I was the only one like this until you start hearing about other people who have the same issue. My mom had this issue too. I mean, you listen to Missy Misdemeanor and Kanye West, and just a lot of people have that problem where as soon as they get in there, man, they get headaches and stuff like that. And I wouldn't mind having a part-time job, but there's something about my presence at jobs that people go, you don't belong here. And they're right. So bro, I've been fired so many times I can't even count. And I used to, I mean, it hurts to get fired. You get rejection hurts, right? Like, damn, I got rejected again. It's because you don't belong there. So yeah, I would love to get a job. I would love to just be a regular working dude, man. I can't do it. I tried. I'm not going to get headaches anymore. Not unless something it's acclimated to me, you know what I'm saying? But like insurance or selling insurance, I do that. But only on my own terms. I do not want to work for another company. Not unless I work part-time. I'll work part-time for you. And that's still within reason. But yeah, I just have that problem, bro. I don't know what to tell you. It's just the problem I got, man. Well, listen, I thought about it. But see, I want my issue, man. So let's just say I go get a job, right? Full-time job, I'm working. I lose my SSI immediately. As soon as I make over $1,400, that's it. No SSI. I still keep my VA. That's cool. But I lose my SSI, right? I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. Now let's just say I'm, I don't know, what, 20, $20 an hour or whatever. I don't know what's going on out there. That's 40,000 a year. Out here, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. 40,000. It's doable. The average person is doing in between what, 41,000 and 50, the average guy. So, I mean, that puts me at average, right? That puts me at a 2-bedroom, maybe $1,000, a month. Bills, whatever. But I've been fired a lot. What if I get fired again? You know how hard it is for me to find a job? It is hard. It is hard. And I have a degree, but it is hard for me to find a job, bro. It's just hard, bro. Now, I'm going to say this. I never lived in Texas. I don't know if I'd have the same experience down there. Hell, I thought about applying in different, parts of the country just to see what happened. No, it's not right. But it happened. Ohio Health is hiring right now. Ohio Health will not hire me. I have an open case. Yeah, I have an open case. They're gonna look at my arrest record. That's it. That's all up. I'm just telling you guys, I've been through it before. And this is why, this is why I spend a lot of time building my own business, because I can't fire myself. Like, I'm not a lazy dude. You know what I mean? So when you usually tell somebody to go get a job, it's usually because you're lazy. I'm not lazy, even though I know that's not what you're telling me. I know that's not what you're saying. I know you're saying if you have a steady income, things get better. And that's completely true. So I'm not offended by what you're saying. Um, just try. Okay. OSU hires. Oh, well, okay. You know what? Humbled. I'm gonna get with you on that. OSU hires felons. They get tax deductions. Now to do that, let me tell you why I don't think that's true. Because if you guys remember, not too long ago, I was trying to get the customer service job. I don't have any felonies. I don't have any felonies. I got all the way up to the last interview and never heard from them again for a customer service job. Customer service. The beginning of the beginning. The first call. The first person you talk to when you call any place. Customer service. How much skills do I have to customer? No, you can't work here. You used to work here. Okay, just try. No, I listen. I appreciate everybody's help. I always have, even before I got here. So I'm not coming at you. I'm just telling you why I think that's not true because of my own experiences. So, okay, just trying to help. Good luck. Bless. I'll be praying for you and I'll accept all your prayers. Yeah, thanks. I need prayers. But it just really got me like customer service, gee. Like I'm way overqualified for this. My interview was with 3 women on Zoom. It's just everybody needs their appliances fixed. Everybody needs a refrigerator. That's all I know. That's all I know. Like I'm fresh out the pen. You know what? Here's the thing. I would do better if I was fresh out the pen. They have programs that'll get you a job if you're fresh out the damn pen. But everybody needs their appliances fixed. And I am a natural problem solver. Every time I see somebody with a problem, I automatically start thinking of how to fix it. And I got my own problems. But that's just what I do. When I hear a sound on a car, I'm like, this is what that is. This is how much it'll cost. This is where you can get your parts. It's just automatic for me. I just turned it into money. And trust me, the business that I have is not bad. I mean, it's not bad. This is in an Airbnb. It's in town. Now I could, couch surf and do this, and I have the money to do it. But eventually I'm gonna want my own spot. This is cool though. It's quiet, nobody bothers me. My storage unit's not far from here. Yeah. But yeah. Mm. Humbled, where you from? Well, wait a minute. I already know where you're from. When did you work for OSU? Humboldt, you sound like a woman. I don't know if you're a woman or not, but I mean, that's cool if you're not, but you sound like a woman. OSU is very female dominated. You notice that? Even if you're not a woman, I didn't mean to criticize you if you're not. But OSU is very female dominated. It is. It's a very female dominated atmosphere that's it's okay. I've been trying to get my OSU for a very, 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 very long time. It is hard to get in there. Very hard to get into OSU. I ain't got my keyboard hooked up, but it was a little something I was gonna create for a client before I had to move. He likes that old style music. I ain't got no keyboard or nothing because I was getting ready to, I was getting ready to put some tracks down for him. I was like, bro, I gotta go. Let me see if it showed my keyboard. Yeah, I can't do anything with it without my MIDI. But yeah, so I'm just going through it, guys. Prayers always helps. Once again, thanks for all who has helped me. Natalie is definitely a big help. And I'm sure I'm still going to need help once I get to my little spot. So get to my little spot. I still want to live on campus. I still wouldn't mind living there. Campus, man. Them damn stairs. Oh my God. Oof, but campus, man. I mean, even on an old fogey, still just to be able to walk down High Street and man, so you're not doing bad. You live in Airbnb. Well, that's because I saved my money and temp stay. No, I ain't broke. I never said I was broke. Hey, what's going on? What do I do for work? Appliances. Talk about you can't afford to move down Southtown. You capping. Well, okay, since I'm capping, you tell me you one of these days, man. All right, so tell me where you're talking about down south, and then tell me what the rent is. Since I'm capping your ass. What is, because, I ain't stayed down south in a long time. So you tell me, what's the rent? Oh, I'm hungry. Yeah, you tell me what the rent is for a 2-bedroom, even though I might just settle for 1-bedrooms now. What is the price for a 2-bedroom in the South? What are we talking about? Texas? Are we talking about Texas? We already went over all that when Matt was here. Remember, bro? I don't remember. I don't remember, bro. But nonetheless, what I'm asking you for is tell me the average. Tell me the average. If I want to live in a decent area, what is the average? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was asking for. Because to say I can afford to live somewhere, okay, let me say this. In order for me to live anywhere, the rent would have to be $900 and less, and I would have to be on a program for my utilities. So I can't pay, $150 for utilities. The reason why my other place was ideal is because I was paying $50 for utilities, sometimes $47. That was for light and gas. The water was included. Then, of course, you got your internet. My internet, $60. But the electric and gas is really what helped me. Now, as far as my income or what I do for a living, I fix appliances. And I have an appliance business, right? So I go on calls every now and then. I fix my own appliances. I resell appliances. That's where most of the money is. I resell appliances on Facebook Market and such. And I also do this for other people. So I deliver for other people. A lot of times landlords just want me to get rid of stuff. Like even these people here, when I told them what I do, they said, listen, we got a bunch of stuff we want to get rid of. They were all appliances. So I charged them $30. They loaded up my trailer. I took that trailer to the junkyard. I got another $75 out of that. So I made like $100. So that's another thing that I do. I will haul your stuff away, but it'll cost you $30 for me to do it. So sometimes people will call me and ask me to get rid of something in their house. And I either got to haul it up from upstairs, or I got to haul it downstairs. My car payment is $379 a month for a new 2016. Okay, I see you. I'm not going to have any car payment. I got an 07 and I got a 2001, so I'm cool on that. I pay $12.56 per month, 1-bedroom. See, that's what I was talking about. Let's get to that. Now, do you like the neighborhood that you stay in? Because for a 1-bedroom down here for $12.56, that's in a nice neighborhood. That's in a quiet neighborhood. And you can actually here, you can get, you can live in I mean, you're talking Upper Arlington, you're talking Worthington. You can live in a very suburban neighborhood for $1,200 for one bedroom. And I'm talking suburban. We already, yeah. Yeah, you can be a suburbanite with that type of money. But so anyway, so that's what I do for people asking what I do. So I have things that are listed on Facebook marketing, some on Craigslist, but not too much on Craigslist. But on Facebook marketing, that's what I do. And those are the calls I get. Can you take this out of my house? Can you remove this from my front yard? Some people just got stuff in their yard that they just want to get rid of. And old washing machines, old this, old that. Sometimes it's not even that, it's just a bunch of metal. And can you take this? Can you take that? And yeah, $30, I'll take it. Because that covers my gas. Plus, when I get to the junkyard, I'm gonna probably make on average $40 from whatever load that you give me. It's gonna be in between 35 to $40. So that's, like a $70 day for me, which is cool. And I like $70 days. I try to aim for 100, but I like $70 days. You know what I mean? And yeah. I work with well, I don't work with him, but every now he hires me. He hires me to sometimes fix his appliances. And sometimes he hires me to deliver. And when I deliver, I charge in between $50 to $70, depends on what it is. And when I get there, I charge the customer another $40. And that's to take the stuff in. So I charge about $50 to $60 just to get it to location. Most of the time, the customer doesn't have a dolly. So the customer already knows if they want me to take their refrigerator, up a flight of stairs, it's going to cost them $40 for me to get that damn thing in the house. Now, why do I charge them that? It's because it usually doesn't take an hour. And I have an hourly rate. So it usually doesn't take an hour to do it. But I like $40 is a good price for them and me. They can see giving up $40. Yeah. So it's an easy $40 for me. It's easy on the pockets for them. Sometimes they'll help me, give me a little boost if it's a big ass refrigerator. And sometimes I don't need one, It all depends on the refrigerator, truthfully, and the dolly that I use, and how many stairs, how narrow the opening is, because of the door that I have to get into, what step I'm trying to get into with the door. It's just a bunch of things because sometimes I have to take the door. Now, this is where it costs when I have to take the doors off to get it into the door. And that's why I charge $40 an hour, because it might cost me about 40 minutes time to get it in there. So it's not quite an hour. And I have to remove your old one first. So might have to strip those doors down, take the doors out, then bring the refrigerator out, then take the doors off the other one, then bring the refrigerator in. So it is a whole, deal that I might have to go through. So that's usually a $90 delivery. This is without setting up the water and all that other stuff. I mean, if I have to set up the water, other than just a couple screws, it's going to cost that customer even more, because now I have to go get you a whole set and go in your basement or under your sink, find your water line, punch a hole in your water line, do all that, it's going to cost that customer more money. I can do it, but it's just going to cost them more money for me to do it. So, yeah, that's what I do. Fix your washer, dryer. I haven't done any installs of a dishwasher yet. I haven't done that, but I looked up how to do that. It's a little involved, but I could do it. So that's what I do. Most of the time it's refrigerators. Any of you guys got refrigerator problems? Listen, if you guys ever have refrigerator problems, just come on and ask me. Like, you can just go into the comment section and say, hey, my fridge is doing this. And you don't have to pay me nothing for that. I'll just tell you what I think it is. You're going to have to do some legwork, though. You're going to have to, if you're going to do it yourself, you might have to head down to Home Depot and get some tools, and then you'll have to find an appliance part place that's going to help you out, or get it online. But nonetheless, I will tell you what's going on with your fridge for the most part. Some stuff you guys are probably not going to want to do, especially if your compressor goes out. You're not going to want to get on your hands and knees and test the compressor. You're just not, or a compressor switch. But if you have a lot of thunderstorms in your area and all of a sudden your fridge goes out, your compressor switch. Your compressor switch got blown out. Another thing is, I keep saying this, make sure you guys have surge protectors on your refrigerators. If you got it plugged into the wall, go get a surge protector, $20-$30. Plug that into the wall, plug your fridge into the surge protector. Because if you get a burst of electricity come through, it won't burn out your fridge. It'll just pop the surge protector. So do yourself a favor and do that, because if you got to call me out, it's going to cost you about it's going to cost you $160 in labor if I have to come to your house. I'm letting you know now, you're going to pay me $160 just to be there. Of course, I'm fixing stuff. But then it's going to cost you in between. It's going to cost you for a compressor switch, depends on the year, make, and model. You'll be looking at $70 to $100 just for the part. And then if nothing else goes out, so you'd be looking at $160 plus your, 70 to 100, and then bada bing, bada boom, you're good. But depending on the refrigerator, if it's a Frigidaire, if it's the old style Frigidaire with the motherboard that sits right up front, oh my God. You need a whole new motherboard now. If you open up that door and it says HH, that's it. Or if you're not getting, if there's cold air on in your freezer side, and it's not getting to your refrigerator side, you're gonna have to remove that whole front part and buy that. That's a couple $100 right there. Just for the little flap that opens up and closes. That's hooked to electronic switch. That whole switch is one piece. It's all one piece. You got to take the whole thing out. Or if your water filter is not working anymore, Your water filter, just the piece that's there, just the water filter. Boom, you take it out and put in another water filter. That whole thing is one unit. It costs $200 just for that unit. I kid you not. I'm just telling you guys, protect your appliances because the cost of this stuff is unreal and it's not going down. Why don't you get HVAC? Well, I'm not saying I won't. I met a guy who does all that. Black guy too. He's like, man, I do it all. I'm like, that's what's up. So yeah, I'm not saying I won't. What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get a good handle on appliances. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you're okay, so if I just do refrigerators, I don't do washers, dryers, I don't do, you know, your unit that you stick in the window to cool. I just do pure 100%. I'm a specialist at refrigerators. That's it. I'm not doing stoves, nothing. I'm not messing with gas, nothing. If I just monopolize refrigerators, I'm known as the refrigerator man. I'm actually already known as the refrigerator man, but I'm known as just fixing refrigerators. Now, there are techs that do it all, and then there are techs that choose one thing and are good at it. There's a guy who's on TikTok, and this guy was a felon. He got out of jail, and he saw a washer and dryer on the side of the road, and he just like, I want to know how to fix it, and that's what he did. Then he started making TikToks, and he's making good money, and he does it in his garage. He's got a nice house, and he finds stuff on the side of the road, takes it home, fix it, sells it for 150 bucks. What he's not telling you is the cost of the parts that go into it. So if you sell something for $150, trust and believe, you're probably making $70, $80 off of that, off of whatever you just fixed. And you might be able to fix it quick and make a quick 70, 80 bucks. Okay, fine. But that margin is going away each year because stuff costs more and more each year. So when you have somebody that's like, he specializes in washers and dryers, that's what he does. He doesn't mess with refrigerators, no anything. He doesn't do HVAC. He has a business of washers and dryers, and he has mastered washers and dryers. Me, what I want to do is I want to master washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers. These are all your major appliances that are in your house. I want to be able to walk into a house and just listen to your appliances and start diagnosing them. And I'm almost there. I need to do more with dishwashers. I definitely need to do more with stoves, even though I'm pretty much, I'm not bad with stoves. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I just learned some new stuff, which is great. What I'll probably do is grab some schematics and start looking at how the electricity flows. And I'll probably have to, do the dance with some motherboards. And the hardest part about all this is doing your ohms testing and knowing how many ohms go to what, and that's where it really gets you. But a lot of that stuff is already mapped out, and if you can just find out, especially on if you take a motherboard out and you put electricity to it, that electricity has a way that it flows. You're supposed to be able to be able to look at and say, this is a transistor, this is this does this does that. That's where you get really deep into appliances. So yes, I'm going to get into HVAC, long story short, but I'm really, really trying to get all the appliance stuff down first, because I now have a reputation for appliances. And if I can get a real good tight grip on that, then I will always make money. You know what I'm saying? And which I'm actually doing. But what happened is I want I want to be able to, let's just say I come to Texas. When I land in Texas, when I land in Texas, get me a little one bedroom for 1200, not a problem. I want to be able to hit Facebook, say I'm in Littlesville, Texas, or whatever, and this is what I do. I want to be able to hit the ground running. I don't want to, how much you pay for Airbnb. This Airbnb is charging me $39 a night. Yeah. So yeah, I want to be able to hit the ground running, and I need about another year of just solid getting in the weeds, motherboards, ohms test, dealing with each type of appliance. I even need to buy vacuum systems. Like, there's some stuff I actually have to get out there and buy. And just see this. Oh, the rain's cleared up. Might go out and mess with these brakes. Vacuum systems, all that other stuff. And once I'm pretty decent at that, yeah, bro, I can go anywhere, and as long as people need their stuff fixed. And then after I get that under my belt, then I'll start looking at HVAC, because I'm already, see, another thing I'm looking at is commercial refrigerators. Yeah. Same principles, but now you're dealing with, different compressors, inverted, this, that, and the third. But now you're dealing with two compressors. You know what I'm saying? Now you're trying to look at the whole system, and your low line, your high line, your suction line, you gotta know all that. You gotta know at what speed they're moving at. And I mean, it's just stuff that you gotta know, especially if you get a call on a commercial fridge. You gotta know what gas they're using. Now they changed the gas. It's not 134A anymore. It's 134A point blah 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 blah. And so it's a different gas. If it's an older model, now you got to look at, it could just be R20. Like your I don't know if you have a deep freezer. They don't take 134. That's R20. So I'm just saying, there's different stuff you just got to know, because you can mess something up real quick. And yeah, it's a good hustle. It's good money. But if you don't know all that stuff, man, and you try to jump out there into something else, you're going to blow yourself up. So I go back to court next Tuesday, and they're pretty much going to tell me to stay away from him and not go into the apartment complex that he's in, which hurts a little bit, but that's fine. I'm not going to go there. I don't need to go there. Franklin County Municipal Court, Department of Pretrial, Probation Service, Anthony Powell. You have a scheduled court hearing for 10/17 at 10:30 a.m. Contact probation department if you have any questions. You do not have to bring any. Yeah, okay. So that was the last conversation there. So yeah, so I have a court hearing on the 17th. Usually I have to see my PO after that. Okay. So somebody is, what do you want for the dishwasher and do you have picks? Okay. Now the gas range, white, front load, white washer. If you okay, so this is a guy who's sending me pictures. Probably can't see him. But this is another apartment manager that I deal with. And this guy, what he does is when he has appliances he wants to get rid of, he calls me. He calls me and says, hey, I have this, in this case is a stove. So see, that's pretty nice, right? So that's a nice stove. That's an electric stove. And he has the microwave. So I've done some removals for this guy. But every now and then he'll, hey, I have this, 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 and this. I don't even have the space for that, but don't make sense. Something's not adding up. What are you talking about? What's not adding up? What's not adding up in your book? Makes sense to everybody else, but what are you questioning? What you, oh, well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not exactly disagreeing with you on that. They could have just done this last week. So you're saying if it's dismissed, why do we have to go back to court? I'm agreeing with that. That's what my lawyer said. He said you're probably just gonna have to come back, and what we're gonna do is just issue you a stay away. And I'm like, why don't y'all do that? Why don't y'all just do this now? Why don't you and the prosecutor just come to an agreement and say, hey, let's just tell these two to stay away from each other. Why can't we do it now? And it was like, no, we have to come back. And so basically it's a continuance, but it's dismissed. Did I beat up someone? I hit him in his hand. He said I beat him up, but he couldn't prove it. Oh, what I go to court for? Assault. I went to court for assault. A misdemeanor, simple assault. Guy said I punched him in the face, and I didn't. I just hit him in his hand because he put his hand in my face. He put his hand out like this, and he's like, oh, that's assault. He hit me in the face. and then oh my God. And then to try to prove his point, he had a picture of the side of his face, but there was nothing there. It's like, dude, that's your face. Like, no, this is what he did, right? Threw that stuff out. Nah, he black, just an idiot. Him and his girlfriend like to cause trouble. He black. I'm hungry. Just an idiot. Yeah, son, come out. Yeah. Yeah, come on out, son. Come on out. Because I got to finish my breaks. Nah, he a black dude. You're not white. I don't understand how somebody can mess with you. Just won't leave you alone. Just will not leave you alone and then call the police on you. And another thing is his girlfriend who was there. Yeah, I'm sorry it happened too, but in a way I'm not because I don't live there no more, so I don't have to put up with it. But in his girlfriend's statement, she said that I hit him in his hand. It's like your girlfriend is not even backing you up. You seeing the messages? Messages of what? What messages? Yeah, his girlfriend ain't even backing him up. It's like she didn't say I hit you in the face. She said I hit you in the hand. I'm here because you said I hit you in the face. Something ain't adding up. We go on Facebook. Share with your friends. Oh, I got 2 followers. Anyways, I'm going to get something to eat, guys. Thanks for stopping by and talking to me. I appreciate it, man. Much love. Thank you for your prayers. You guys take it easy.